All right, if you're a parent, you know this struggle, right? How in the world do you get your kids interested in these ancient stories when they've got tablets and video games buzzing all around them? Well, the answer might be way simpler and honestly a lot more colorful than you'd expect.
Yeah, this question, it really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We're living in this world of just instant everything, total visual overload. So how do we make something timeless feel immediate and engaging right now? The secret, it turns out, is to stop fighting their world and instead meet them right where they are, in that visual space they already love.
Okay, so let's flip the script here. What if we stop presenting the Bible as a collection of disjointed rules or moral fables? What if we revealed it for what it truly is, one single, epic saga? And then, what if we told that story using a format kids are already totally obsessed with? That right there is the amazing revolution we're seeing happen.
So let's dive in. To really get how huge this change is, you've got to see the old way right next to the new.
And wow, you can see the difference immediately, can't you? On one side, you have that wall of text. So important for sure, but let's be honest, it can look a little intimidating to a young reader. But then you look at the other side and boom, it's pure action, pure drama. You can feel the tension in that panel. You can see the emotion on their faces. It's the difference between just reading a story and actually stepping right inside of it.
And here's the brilliant part. Publishers are finally tapping into what kids already love. Think about it. Kids are absolutely devouring graphic novels right now. So by using this comic book style, they're not just making scripture accessible, they're making it exciting. It's a total game changer, especially for those kids you might call reluctant readers. Suddenly, they're not just reading, they're exploring.
Okay, but why does this format work so well? What's the secret sauce here? Because it's definitely more than just adding some nice pictures to the page. There's some real magic, some real art and science behind why telling stories with images connects so deeply with us, and especially with kids.
It really boils down to this. This is about so much more than just entertainment. The art literally brings historical figures to life. Suddenly, Moses isn't just a name in a book, he's a living, breathing person. Big, complex ideas like forgiveness, they become so much easier to grasp when you can see them in a single image. It totally pulls in kids who might not love to read, and it helps them remember the stories because the art itself conveys so much emotion.
I just love this quote. It hits the nail on the head, right? Think back to your own childhood. I bet you can still picture illustrations from your first storybook. Those images, they don't just disappear. They become our mental library for our faith. A powerful picture of Daniel in the lion's den can shape a child's understanding of courage for years to come. The industry term for this is visual narrative. But here's the part that is just so cool. Some of the artists working on these Bibles are the same people who drew for Marvel and DC Comics. I'm talking about artists who drew Spider-Man and Batman. They're now using that same epic, heroic style to bring the heroes of the Bible to life.
But it's not just about the awesome art. There's something else going on here, something deeper in the way the stories themselves are being presented. The best modern storybook Bibles, they're not just a collection of random stories anymore. They're weaving everything together into one big, incredible story.
And honestly, this is a monumental shift. A lot of us grew up learning Bible stories almost like a list of rules to follow or heroes to imitate. But this new approach frames the entire thing as one single love story, the story of God's plan to rescue His people. It's a rescue story, from beginning to end.
Okay, so there's a technical term for this, the Redemptive Historical Approach. That sounds a little complicated, but all it really means is that you're teaching kids to be story detectives. You're showing them how to find clues way back in Genesis that point all the way forward to Jesus, revealing the Bible's incredible, unified design.
And some Bibles make this whole detective thing super interactive and fun. Check this out. It's like a choose-your-own adventure. A kid reads the story of the first Passover, right? Then they see this little icon at the bottom of the page, this visual link. It tells them to flip to another story, and boom! They land right at the Last Supper and see exactly how the two are connected. It's brilliant. They get to make the discoveries themselves.
All right, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you bring this into your family's daily life? Let's get practical.
Probably one of the easiest and best things to do, make it a bedtime ritual. It's perfect. Many of these storybook Bibles are written with this beautiful, poetic rhythm that's just made for reading aloud. It's the perfect way to wind down a crazy day and have that quiet moment of connection with your kids.
And remember, those amazing pictures aren't just there to look pretty. They're conversation starters. You can just point to a picture and ask simple things. Hey, what do you think he's feeling right now? Or, I wonder what she's thinking. Suddenly, you're not just reading a story. You're talking about empathy and feelings and what it all means. It opens up these incredible conversations.
Here's another great tip.
Match the activity to the kind of Bible you're reading. If you've got a really action-packed graphic novel, get the crayons out. Have them draw their favorite scene or character. If you're using one of those StoryLink Bibles, make it a treasure hunt. Let's follow the clues. The whole idea is to get them involved, to make it active and creative, not just passive listening.
And, when you zoom out, this is all about so much more than just one story or one fun activity. What we're really talking about here is building a foundation, something that's going to last them their entire lives.
This quote just says it all. Storybook Bibles matter because they literally shape a child's imagination. The stories we tell them, the pictures we show them, that's the stuff they use to build their very first ideas about who God is, what it means to belong, and their place in the whole wide world. It's a huge responsibility for sure, but what an incredible opportunity.
And that's really the ultimate goal, isn't it? As this quote so beautifully puts it, these stories can do so much. They can help us heal, make us think, bring us together. They can show us the way home. It's not about just learning facts, it's about experiencing something that can guide you. And that's why these stories have stuck around for thousands of years.
So, there you have it. The tools are out there, and they are more creative and beautiful than they have ever been. The adventure is literally just waiting for you to open the cover. So the only real question left is, what story are you and your family going to discover together?